Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. This is Mary with Resin Me Up. So, as you can see, I have a mold in front of me with a little plug in the middle. So today is going to be Experiment Tuesday. You know how I love my experiments. So, not going to really get into what I'm going to do. You're going to have to stay tuned to see how this turns out. All we're going to do at this point in the video is we are going to pour clear in here, and I've got my resin all mixed up. It's already been ran through the vacuum chamber. I'm going to spritz this with some alcohol just to see if we can't prevent some of these bubbles, and we're going to pour. Now, this mold is not going to be filled all the way up, but this is the deepest round mold that I have. And since this idea came to me yesterday, I didn't have time to really go and get another mold. So we're going to adapt with this mold. And I can say that by the time we get done, the resin needs to be over this. So that will tell you how deep this will need to be. But for right now, we're just going to pour in this layer just to get us a clear start. I am using the Bond Crafter 1-to-1, and I have mixed up 400 mLs, so that's 200 of part A and 200 of part B. I did separate it into 2 different cups so that I could run it through my vacuum chamber without it running over. And I have had some questions about what a vacuum chamber is. A vacuum chamber is a device that you can stick your resin in, and it has an external device or pump or what is it called? A compressor. That's the word I'm looking for. An external compressor. And what that compressor does, once you turn it on and you have all your stuff in place, it literally vacuums or sucks, or whatever you want to call it, the air out of the chamber. And so when you have your resin in there, it literally vacuums the air out of your resin as well, and that removes bubbles, or reduces, let me rephrase, reduces your amount of bubbles, which this vacuum chamber is different than a sorry, you guys. For those of you that don't know, I have a traumatic brain injury, and so I have a problem with my words sometimes. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. But there's another device you can use, and it literally takes the bubbles out and shrinks them to microscopic bubbles. But a vacuum chamber just vacuums them out and reduces the size, and So that is what a vacuum chamber is. Now there are lots of different devices for vacuum chambers out there on the market. A lot of the resin companies now have debubbling machines, and they pretty much do the same thing as a vacuum chamber. They're just not as large. Mine is a 2.5 gallon. So mine can hold quite a few containers at one time. Let's Resin has one. Resiners has one. There's quite a few other brands out there on the market of these debubbling machines. So that is the explanation of what a vacuum chamber is. Pressure pot. That's what it is. It's a pressure pot. And a pressure pot, you have to put your item in there, and then you seal it shut, and then you compress air into the machine, and then it stays closed for 24 hours or until your product is cured for 24 hours. And it's under, like, I think 50 to 60 pounds of pressure. So that's the difference between the two. All right, so there is our first layer. We're going to let that cure, or at least get to a tacky state, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go with our second step. Make sure there's no bubbles around this. Looks like it has a pretty good seal because there's no bubbles coming up off of it, except for the ones I just made. Okay. All right. We'll be back when this is ready for step 2. Okay. See you in a while. Bye. Okay, guys, welcome back. My resin, it is at a tacky state. So here's what we're going to do for step 2. Tinfoil. But we're going to try a new technique today. So I cut this out, and I cut it much bigger. We're going to go ahead and crinkle this up, but we're not going to crinkle it up as much as you think. And we're going to flatten it out a lot. So get this, because I'm not making the same mistake I made last time. And the reason we're going to flatten it out a lot, we want the texture behind it, but we also want it to be fairly flat. So let me, like I said, we want the texture to be behind it, but I also cut it way bigger, so I didn't make the mistake that I made last time. Okay, so we got our texture. Well, I don't want that in there either. Let me get my cutting board here so that we've got a flat surface. Because I don't want all these lines and everything in my design. Okay. Got a sticky thing missing from this. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see this, because I've got my thing pushed over as far as I can. Plus get you guys in here. Okay, so I've done this technique with alcohol inks. I've done this technique with unicorn spit. Today, we are going to do this technique with all of Laura's CHAMELEON powders. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Purple Shimmer, Green Frog, Blue Ocean, Golden Apple, Blue Violet, Saffron Gold, and Peach Raspberry. So those are all the colors we're messing with today. And we're also going to be using UV resin. So this is what we're going to start out with. So I'm going to take this UV resin and I am just going to start making a design all over this tinfoil. Not giving a care where I put it. Just going to cover the surface with this crazy design. Okay. I think if I can see correctly, it's kind of hard to see on this big old shiny surface. All right, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it out and I'm just going to go over this surface for like 15 seconds. Just to cure it enough so that it's at a tacky state. Another good reason you should have one of these, because this is perfect. Okay, let me go through and touch this. What the heck? Oh, it's alcohol. I was like, what did I spill? Leave it to me. I'm always spilling something. All right, let me touch this because I want to make sure that this is all tacky. Okay, good enough. All right, now move my brush cleaner over here, and we're going to start with, put this away. We're going to start with the Purple Shimmer. Purple Shimmer. We're going to dip in here. I'm going to try to keep this away from that. Set it over here. And I'm just going to start brushing this wherever there's UV resin. And I'm going to go ahead and get all of these colors open here. Clean my brush in between each one. And I'm even going to combine them. Just going to play with them all over this. Oof, look at that. Because I love these colors. She sent me a few, 3 or 4 of them, and then I went and purchased the rest of them. Because they're that phenomenal. Come here. Gotta stay here with me. And when you blend these colors together, my gosh, you guys, they just are awesome. Okay, let's see, where's that golden apple? That golden apple is just gorgeous. Isn't that golden apple pretty? Oh my Lord. And let's see. What should we put here? Da, 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 da. Okay, I'm going to put some more UV resin in some of these places that have big empty spaces. Let's see. What color should we put here? do blue. What I like about these colors is you can almost mix a couple colors. Like I could take a little bit of this green and mix it with that blue, and you almost get like a teal. It's really kind of cool. And let's see. Need some purple over here. I think I got it all. What do you guys think? Isn't that cool? And then we're going to put that in there. Let me get all the lids back on this stuff. Okay, here we go. I may have to trim some of this off because it might be too big since I flattened it out. But I need to, I think, finish curing it. Before I do that, let me trim this and finish curing. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I had to trim this down quite a bit, so we're going to try to get this in here now. Hopefully it'll just go right down in there. And I don't care if it comes up a little bit on the sides, it's okay. I'm going to have to cut around that. Okay, got it in there, got it cut around. And this is not going to make any difference. So there we have it. All down, all laid down, perfect. Now I'm just going to pour a layer of resin so that it's covering the top of this, and I'm going to let it cure, and then we will come back and demold this when it's done, and hopefully I'll be able to get this video posted tonight. I'm so excited. I love new experiments, new techniques. Okay, everybody, we'll see you on demold. I'll get this poured. Haven't decided what color I'm going to pour it yet, but I think I know. But we'll see you on demold. Bye. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Are you ready to get this out of the mold and see how it turned out? Turn my fan off here. On the back, I used Laura's Candy Apple Blossom, and her, what did I do with it? Oh, sorry, I put them back. I didn't have enough room on my table for everything. I use the teal blue orchid, and then I have a new one I just got from her. Well, I bought it when I ordered the other ones. It's called Starburst, and it's a metallic epoxy pigment, and I mixed all of those three together and poured that on the back. So let's see what we have here. I knew that silicone was going to stain my mold. All right. Look at that. Ah, that is so cool. Some of it leaked in just a little bit underneath that foil. That's okay. Let's get this out of here. My plug. Look at that. Is that not cool or what? I can never pick these up after I get them down there. So you can see all my little swirls in there. I mean, I'm a little disappointed because some of that leaked in there, but it's okay. First time doing it. And, you know, cutting that, next time I'll know not to, I'll have to cut the center out of my foil first before I do all of this. So that way I make sure I get a snug fit. So are you wondering what's going to go in here? All right. I'm going to show you. Just a second here. Grab something else. Let me put you on pause for 1 second. Okay. I had a little issue with putting this little thing together. Couldn't find I couldn't get the thing in there. So this is what's going in there. Guess it really doesn't. And it fits snug. I didn't even have to use the little clampy things. So yeah, it's my little clock. What do you guys think? I mean, that is perfect. It just fits in there perfect. Now you guys are probably wondering how I did that. Well, what I used was, grab it here. I made a plug out of this. Yeah, I used this clock mold and I made a plug. And so that's how I knew what size it was going to be. And I've got a ton of these little clock faces. And so that's how I made it. Now, let's go over the sides. I have got some big holes right there from where the tinfoil went when I laid it down from where it was too big, which is not a problem. I can fill those with UV resin. And then what I can do is once I get those filled, then that'll be level all the way around. It's just that one and that one and that one. So there's just a couple holes, which is not a big deal. Fixable. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think of my clock? Is that not genius or what? I'm a little disappointed that the red, sunk underneath there. But I have to make this again, and it has to be perfect. because that is so cool. Very, very cool. Not only do you get the tinfoil technique, but you also get the raised 3D look with the swirls back there and mica powder, shifting mica powder. Is that not genius or what? I think it's awesome. I mean, I told you guys there were so many different ways that you can do these. Sorry, I got something on my glasses I can't see. There are so many different ways that you can do these tinfoil things that, you know, I think it's awesome. I just love it. Like I said, I'm disappointed about that, but it's okay. Like I said, I want to try this again and try to get it so that, you know, it's perfect in there without that leaking through, which means I have to cut my hole in my tinfoil first. And so that way it'll all be just right. And then that resin won't leak in there like that. So that was my bad for not planning ahead on that. But I just wasn't thinking. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys like my clock? And then what I want to do is once I get the UV resin filled in around here, I want to use my silver and just go all the way around it so that the silver goes around the edge and completes that. So let me fill in these holes real quick because I want you guys to see it finished. And then I will fill them all in with UV resin real quick and then get it painted on the sides. And then I'll come back and let you see what it looks like. Okay? BRB. Hey everyone, welcome back. I've got this done. So I got the silver around the edge and it is complete. So now it's all done. What do you guys think? Let me see. Do I have this there? Is that right? Yeah. Although the time is not correct. I need to pull that. What do you guys think? I think it's great. I love it. I really like it. So there you have it, guys. There is my tinfoil 3D UV whatever technique with Laura's color shift micas. And I will link everything I used today in my description box so that you guys can go out to her website and check them all out. And yeah, I mean, it's a little rough around the edges. I mean, I guess I could have like literally went around it and sanded it and made it all smooth. But for the purposes of this being my first one, you know, I was more excited about the technique itself. And yeah, so when I do this again, it's going to be a lot cooler. But like I said, this is a test. This was the very first time I did it, and I think it turned out great. So let me know what you think in the comments and hit that like button if you think it's cool. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you really should, because I am always coming up with something. So yeah, so there you have it, guys. So remember to, I got some silver paint on the front of that. I need to get that off. Remember to stay curious, stay creative, and always stay positive. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.